Let's talk about the relationship between HR and IT and IT's involvement. How should IT be involved, and what are IT's priorities that HR might not be aware of?
From the ATS side, um, the necessity for integration with internal systems, things like email systems, things like your website, like actively being involved in connecting to your external website. And who owns that? Who's responsible for the website? Is that the IT team? Is that the marketing team? Who in your organization owns your message, your face to the world? When it comes to a safety background perspective, as far as making sure that your data is protected and you're not opening a back door into your company's systems. You know, IT and HR very often have very competing priorities when those kinds of things are concerned, because we're dealing with personal identifying information, whether it's on the HRIS side or on the ATS side. It's people's contact information, names, addresses, phone numbers. IT has some very strict rules in place in any organization on how that kind of data is taken into account and how it's handled. And HR has some different perspectives and priorities on how that data is handled. So having some alignment there at the beginning of a project can ease a lot of friction.
Great. Sina, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that, Vivian, and I'll add to that a bit as well. At the highest level, I think about this as governance, right? Roles and responsibilities falling into that governance and who owns what. I've seen the model work in various different ways. So there isn't a right way, so to speak. And in the past, I've formulated an opinion about what is the right way or the one way that I think is most effective. But it really depends on the company size, the way the cross-functional teams work together, and the alignment that's there. So I have seen IT teams fully centralize the function of HRIS support. I've seen IT teams centralize HRIS support, but the recruiting team owns the ATS and they work together, sometimes nicely, sometimes not. Right? I've seen HR wholly own Workday. And if you're on a third party ATS, let's say like iCIMS, TA owns that, and then HR and TA work together, and IT only supports if there's an integration need, for example, or an InfoSec review. So regardless of what the model is, and there's combinations and permutations of that. Regardless of what the model is, you need strong governance. You need to define the swim lanes, define the ownership, the accountability, and work well together. And that's the hard part. It's the soft skills. It's the components of bringing that together. That's tough.
I often Systems are a living and breathing thing, and if you don't have someone steering that ship, they can get out of sync with things very quickly and cause problems for every organization, HR, IT, everyone in the organization ultimately.